Hey there, everybody, and welcome to our premiere reaction for The Bachelor Presents Listen to Your Heart, because not even The Bachelor is sure it wants to be associated with this as of yet. It is The Bachelor Presents. It's like me presenting a plate of broccoli. I'm not saying I made the broccoli, I just presented it, so, don't get mad at me if it's not good.
That would be a shock to me since you hate broccoli. And going into this show, speaking of things that I thought I was going to hate, when they first announced this show and what they were doing, I thought, this is going to be garbage. This is going to be terrible. I am not going to be interested in this at all. And then everything happened in the real world, and all the shows I was watching all stopped being made. So then it was like, now I'm becoming a little more interested in this singing Bachelor show because there's nothing else on. And I'm glad that I actually gave it a chance because it is trashy and garbage, but I'm invested.
They should put that on a poster. Trashy and garbage, but I'm invested.
I'm completely invested.
Here's the thing, like 30 minutes before this, I was just thinking, all right, you know what, I'll give this a chance. I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna care. And then 30 minutes from the end, I was just like, Jamie, you better not break Ryan's heart. How dare you go on this date with him and then go back to Trevor, who looks like every single dude named Trevor I have ever known.
So invested. I was so invested in what was going on with that Trevor, Jamie, Ryan. I can't even.
Well, alright, we're gonna try to talk through all of this, but before we do, if you guys do like this video, be sure to give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other updates. We're gonna do a lot of jumping around to various things because, full disclosure, we're 2 hours into a show featuring 20 people. We don't know who everyone is. We don't know all of their names. There's the Mr. Clean guy who I don't know. He's gone. I don't think we can worry about him anyway.
And then there's also people that, didn't necessarily get the most screen time, like Chris and Bree, but I'm also very invested in.
Yeah, I like Chris and Bree. Like, they seem sweet.
Oh my god. Okay, so what I'm really liking about this show, I don't know that it's the music aspect of it or what, but I really like that there are legitimate connections happening where I don't feel like everyone's there so that they can just go on Instagram and sell tummy tea. I feel like some people, like a Chris and a Bree, are here to actually find something, or they have stumbled into it, and it's nice.
You know what I think it maybe is? This, call me crazy. I think this might be it. Because it's a group of singers. I think there's already just the pretense here that they're all here for a certain extent to further their singing career.
Sure.
It's sort of like, because
that's
out in the open though, I think that gives them sort of carte blanche to just actually engage in the process of falling in love, because they don't actually have to hide anything. Like, they can actually be open in a way that some people are not. Jed.
Yeah, and there's like someone who's like, oh, and I was on Idol, and I was like, okay, so yes, it is out there, and but it still doesn't feel like, I guess, that they are there just to be like the next big thing.
Yeah, it feels like they can actually do both, and I think
yes,
I think it's because the show's allowing them to do both. And there's some interesting people in here. There's some situations that I find incredibly dramatic. I love the editing job that they did on Jamie, because I'm pretty sure she was the person in the early going being sort of like, oh, I don't want there to really be any drama.
Of course.
If there's any drama, I'm gonna... And of course, she is like the center of all of the drama in the premiere.
Oh, props to the editing team on this. I mean, we even had Ryan being all like, I could really fall in love with this girl, and she's in the hot tub making out with Trevor. I'm just like, okay, so there's this.
And then we also have, let's remind everyone of this. You have Jamie saying, oh, I always pick the wrong guy, ... Insert preview for episode 2, which we'll talk about a little bit later on.
Yep.
I think you might have chosen the wrong guy, Jamie.
But luckily, the right guy is still there.
Ryan is precious, right?
I know.
He looks like the guy who, like, tries out for every theater production in high school and he gets, like, rejected from every single one of them. But then there's that, like, one that he's perfect for and he gets it and then he starts celebrating it. And then once he leaves the theater, some guy stuffs him in a locker. Which I understand because I haven't been locker stuffed, but I have been other things locker stuffed adjacent, so I get it.
Listen, I feel that Ryan will find love on this show.
Yeah.
Because I'm Team Ryan. I love him. He is completely adorable. It does feel like he's genuinely there to find love. Of course, music. But, I mean, I was actually kind of surprised at how small the music aspect was. Happily surprised. I kind of was like, oh man, like, how is this gonna all work out? You're gonna get a rose and you have to sing for your life. Like, I didn't really know what they were gonna do with this. So it was nice to have it like, yeah, I expect the dates to be music, thinking Capitol Records and all that, and that's fine or whatever. But it felt like the music was really just part of everybody. You know, we got guys at the piano, people just playing guitar, like people singing. Like, it felt a little more natural and it was a lot smaller than, you know, I was worried about.
Let's talk for a second about this date with Jamie and Ryan, because by all means, I do appreciate Ryan, but I was sitting here watching this, and they go to Capitol Records. You have, like, these professionals who are there sort of, you know, questioning what has led them to this moment, helping to guide along Jamie and Ryan on their musical journey, and then they're performing this John Mayer song, and I'm just sitting here being like, you know, what is this for? What's the end result of this? Is there a single that's going out? Or are they just randomly singing to each other? And then these producers are like, okay, get out now, you're done.
It was so we could have that moment a few minutes later where Chris Harrison walks in and says, have you all felt the gravity of this situation? Or something along those lines. And he threw that word out. And here we are. It's all full circle.
Did you also catch Chris Harrison near the end saying, and ladies, remember, listen to your heart?
Yes, yeah.
Chris,
no, man. Every week.
We know what the show's name. You don't need another thing. Your thing is already wandering in and reminding everyone that there's a final rose. I'm legally blind. I still know that the final rose is there.
There is only one. We all know. But if you take that away from him, then what does he have?
This is true. This entire show just feels like everyone is having some sort of existential crisis. Really wondering, what are we doing? We're professional musicians in some house that I guess it's not the Bachelor house because everybody kept talking about it as being this special house. Someone was going into where I think the women were staying and they were like, oh, this is such a perfect place to fall in love. You're looking at bunk beds. Who has ever said bunk beds and falling in love in the same sentence?
It's true. And then we also have guys like Michael Todd saying, I like your lips. What? That is some quality creepiness with that right there. I like your lips. Yikes.
There's so many things that were wrong about it. There was the fact that he did that, and then she sort of said thanks, and then I think he proceeded to say something about them again.
He started talking about his own lips. Well, what do you like my lips? It got creepier and creepier, quality creepiness. Then there was someone else, and it was at the beginning, so I didn't catch exactly who it was, who said, am I being too attractive at the moment? It was so weird. Like, there was some weirdness. I understand that the guys were under some pressure, but guys, don't ever say stuff like that. Or, I like your lips. It sort of reminds me of that scene in Sex and the City where we had that guy come up and be like, hey, sweet lips. Anybody out there who's watching, you know what I'm talking about. There's always JJ Sweet Lips out there who's going to say some stuff.
Yeah, there are a number of things that you shouldn't say, and I think Michael Todd has at least like 5 of them down, which, by the way, pick a name, Michael Todd. You can't be Michael and you can't be Todd. Like, this felt like a I mean, I understand there's George Michael in Arrested Development, but like he at least had the charming Michael Cera going for him. I don't think Michael Todd has all that much that is charming. I think the moment he said, "I like your lips," all
goodness.
charm left the room.
I am actually surprised that there wasn't somebody there who was like, you know what, I haven't really made a connection with anybody. Wouldn't this be funny if I gave Michael Todd my rose? Or if there was a producer twirling their mustache behind the scenes being like, you know what, you're not making connection with anyone. Would you please keep along Sweet Lips Michael Todd for one more episode?
I have a lot of questions about the format of this show, because what if you're in like a relationship, and this is, I'm not advocating for someone to do this because this is pretty bad, but what if you realized that it wasn't working out and you didn't want to break up with them on the show? So what if you just started singing really badly and just sort of been like, oh, I lost my voice, I've lost my talent. It's sort of like in Space Jam when the Monstars steal the NBA player's talent. And then at that point, are they going to be like, well, you're not a good singer anymore, get out? I want to know how this works.
It's possible. I mean, musicians want to be with other musicians, I guess.
I don't know. I think this show is doing bad things to me already, and I'm only an episode in.
It's true.
Can we talk about Matt? Speaking of Matt, you are my namesake. There haven't been a lot of good Matts in Bachelor Nation. The only other one I can think of is the dude who dressed up as a penguin, which I think is his pretty much only memorable quality.
Here's the thing with Matt so far with this edit. I'm looking at you, editors. You've been doing a lot in this episode, and a little bit with Matt, it feels like. So we had everything that happened with Matt and what was going on with Rudy, and then he was like, wanted to kiss her, and she was like, no. So yeah, he could have taken it that maybe she wasn't ready, but he probably also could have taken it as, this girl isn't into me.
Yeah?
And so then we get into this situation where he's got a date card and he's kind of like, okay, I'm going to end up taking Mel instead. We had Rudy actually go and say that Matt told her that he was taking her. If Bachelor had that footage and they could have turned Matt into a villain tonight, they would have done that. They would have done that. So it makes me feel like maybe he didn't say that exactly.
I think they wanted to make... I feel like in some ways they wanted us to be rooting for him getting told off. Maybe it's just because The Bachelor loves people getting told off. But yeah, I don't think Matt doesn't seem like he is the worst person in the house. I'm not saying he's my favorite either, but it does seem like there was either a miscommunication here, or maybe Rudy just heard something a little bit differently than what he actually said. But yeah, he kind of went off her communication in that moment. It doesn't seem like he had a lot of time to make a decision as to who to take on this date.
No.
He chooses Mel. We see so little of this date. It must be because nobody wants to sit around and watch people be awkward for like 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, he said later there was no real chemistry, and that's okay. That's the whole point of the show, right? You're trying to figure out who you have chemistry with and who you don't. But to come back and get reamed out like that by someone that you tried to kiss, they didn't want to kiss you, then it's like, okay, well then I guess I'll go out with this other person. Then they're saying you said something that maybe you didn't actually say. Then they're trash talking you in the house, they're yelling at you. I mean, it was a lot that was going on there with Rudy.
And then we get to this situation where Mel gives her rose to Gabe at the end of the episode, and then Cheyenne. And by the way, I barely know these people's names at this point, so I understand especially with Cheyenne, who I think had, 2 seconds of airtime.
Yeah, she did not get enough airtime.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden she's choosing Matt, and I'm just like, Okay, well, I guess there's that. He's still a part of the show.
Yeah.
So I guess good on you, Matt.
Well, that might, again, makes me wonder if this is where the producers are maybe coming in, where it's like, okay, listen, Cheyenne, I know you're not making any real connection with anybody, but we'd really like to have Matt stick around. Are you willing to, at least for this week, throw your rose at him? There will be some new people coming in. If you're not grooving with any of these people, don't worry, more people are coming in. She's like, yeah, sure, why not? I'll give it a chance.
And all right, well, the next, I guess, romantic saga we have here is the saga of Julia, who seems to have a number of people interested, including, and forgive me once again for not knowing your actual name, Mr. Clean Guy. And then also,
it might be Joshua. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I like Mr. Clean Guy. But as a fellow bald man, I understand. Okay, but nobody ever mistakes me for Mr. Clean. I do at least have to say that.
I will from now on.
I don't know if I want that.
It's too late.
I'm sorry. All right. Anyway, let's talk about hipster Austin Sheridan and his hat.
He's great.
Yeah, despite me at first glance being like, oh, it's the hipster guy with the beard and the hair and the hat, who, at least he's very self-aware that I think like 50% of all dudes in Austin actually do look like him.
Yeah, he's really self-aware. He feels really genuine. Seems like he's just there to make music and meet people. Like, it's cool. I really liked him. I didn't know what to expect with him. And then I was just like, get this Mr. Clean out of here. I need Sheridan to stay. There's some really good casting going on with this season.
I like him, and I kind of like Julia too. I think I like her because she made what I think is a good decision, and she listened to her heart.
Oh, right.
She listened to the man who serenaded her, and he doesn't look like sort of the prototypical bachelor bro, which I kind of think of as like hulking and all that sort of nonsense.
And I liked that he didn't only just go and serenade her. He also was like, listen, I started kind of making this song before, I was coming in here. Then I continued on working on this song after I met you and thinking about you a bit. And I'd like to finish this song with you as something we can work on. I was like, that's so cool. All right. I like this. You're not just being kind of douchey and going and being like, here's this song I wrote for you. And then just to sit there and listen to it. It was a lot more of a let's make this a collaboration and do something really cool together.
It's like it's a group activity. It's like cooking class or pottery. It's, hey, let's do this song together. Good on you, Sheridan. I like you.
Sharing a passion. I like him too.
I like that. If you get to date Sheridan, does he give you one of his hats and then you sort of wear that around so you're like a part of the team?
I sure hope not.
Okay, I was just wondering. I'm figuring out the parameters here. The only, I guess,
by the end of this season, Matt is going to have a hat. I feel it coming.
I need it to like materialize because I don't think I'm leaving the house for it. But if anyone wants to materialize a hat on my head,
we can scrounge something up.
That might look terrifying. But anyway, I guess the final surprise is, of course, Rudy, when she is done completely reaming out Matt for like 5 minutes, Ryan stays in the show. He gets to live another day. I cannot think of a more opposite relationship than Rudy and Ryan. Yeah,
I mean, there is obviously nothing there, at least right now. But it feels, again, like either producers came in and was like, okay, we have to keep Ryan in this house. I mean, if we don't keep Ryan in this house, then how do we keep this awkward love triangle going? So, again, it was probably one of these situations where it was either the producers were like, hey, do you mind? And she's like, nah, I wasn't going to pick anybody anyways. Or Rudy was like, how can I get the most drama going in this house? I think I'm going to pick Ryan.
I think here is the best conclusion for The Bachelor Presents Listen to Your Heart. Is it a good show? No. Is it a fun show? Yes. It's not. It's full of nonsense. It's full of puns and weird dates and people who I'm not going to remember, and it's only 6 weeks long.
But there's a couple of good people in there. There's some good casting in this.
Yeah. ABC doesn't feel like they really believe in it that much either.
Maybe I'm just so desperate after Peter's season to have like some good connections, some good casting, like something a little more just real in there.
This is gonna be the funniest thing out of all of this, is after what we went through with Anna B's season, after what we went through with Peter's season, watch, there will be a couple from Listen to Your Heart who ends up actually getting married and becomes one of the most successful couples in the history of this show.
That would be awesome. We need a win. Come on. Listen to your heart.
You really may be all we actually have at this point, because who knows if we're getting a Bachelorette or Paradise or anything else.
It's true.
Alright, well, we're all in this together, everyone. We have embarked on this musical journey. Who do you like? Who do you not like? Are you terrified that Michael Todd is going to haunt your dreams? Let us know all of your thoughts in the comments.
I like your lips.
Oh boy. Alright, if
God.
you do like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and if you want to support us more, check out the link in the description to the store, and I'll see you here next time.